That is why this video will have significant relevance, because I am going to be easily breaking down it to you on what are the sources, what are the important areas to focus. I'll be judging the PYQs on the basis of difficulty of the same. The correct answer is option A. The best means of salvation was devotion. In the NCERT, you can exactly see the same.
I started my full-fledged preparation after I joined the Ultimate Assessment Program at Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily.
There is a 12-month strategy which I have done on Civilsdaily platform only.
I reached out to the Civilsdaily team.
Civilsdaily. Current affairs में Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily.
A mentorship program of Civilsdaily, and that did help me a lot.
Good day everyone, Srija here, and welcome to yet another video of Civilsdaily. Today, as you can see on the board, I'll be talking on how to study ancient history. You know, one of the most important issue that almost all the aspirants face is that how to study ancient, how to study medieval and art and culture, how much time should I invest for the same, what are the sources for the same. Now, that is why this video will have significant relevance, because I am going to be easily breaking down it to you on what are the sources, what are the important areas to focus. I'll be judging the PYQs on the basis of difficulty of the same, and also telling you what are the less important areas and which are the areas to skip, which will actually significantly reduce your pressure for the same, and also helps you save a lot of time wherein you can invest those time on other important areas. So as I usually do, let's basically analyze the PYQs to understand how the questions come. So as you can see here, I have taken ancient, medieval and art and culture combined. So as you can see here, 2025 8 questions were there, 2024 8 questions, 2023 9 questions. But when you compare it to all the other portions, you can see here environment has 14 questions, economy has 14 questions, geography has 15 questions, and in case of polity, 10 to 15 questions come every year. So what you need to understand is that you should not be spending too much time on studying ancient, medieval and art and culture. Rather, you should be investing your significant amount of time, let's say 60% or even 80% of your time, studying all these other portions. Okay? Also, when you actually dive deeper, you will understand that art and culture has a significant weightage when compared to the other subjects. So you can see here, in case of 2024, 8 questions, 5 questions, 2023, 5 questions, 2022, 5 questions. When you compare to ancient history, only 2, and 1 question have come in the past 3 years. Okay, so let me tell you, in case of ancient medieval history, it is one of the least important subject in case of UPSC, and you should not be spending too much of your time or reading too much books to get only 1 to 2 questions. Okay, now that is why the important sources are significant, because you should not be spending too much time on reading multiple books to get only 1 to 2 questions. So also, when you actually analyze the difficulty of the questions, always we need to analyze the difficulty of the questions, right? Let's say you have read all these books, be it Tamil Nadu NCERT, be it 6th standard, be it 12th standard, be it R.S. Sharma, and even if the questions coming are very difficult, that even after reading these sources, you are not able to get the same, then is there any point in reading these multiple sources? There's no point in doing the same, right? So when you actually analyze all the questions which came in ancient, medieval and art and culture, you will understand that in 2025, out of the 8 questions, 2 questions were very difficult. In this Mahajanpada, even the topic was according to the micro theme. Composure and Vibhas was very difficult. In 2024, Sangabodhi was very difficult. 2023, Hamira Mahakavya, Nidhimakrita was very difficult. Devaraya 1 was very difficult. Vattakiruttal was a bit difficult. This was almost impossible to crack. Which of the following above are Jain tests? The Pran Pratishtha of Somnath temple at the present day was done by President S. Radhakrishnan. Even if you don't know about the political history of India or about the post-India consolidation, it would be very hard for you to get the same. Even in case 2025, Kuladharan, Nathamuni, Arideva, Dikkhanaga, Yoga Vasishta, Kautilya Sardashastra, they were very difficult. So out of the 10 questions, almost 6 questions were almost impossible to crack in case of 2022. So when you analyze the same, you'll understand that almost 2 to 3 questions out of the 8 questions which is asked in ancient, medieval and art and culture are very difficult, even if you read basically all the sources. And there are some questions which are very easy, which you will get if you read at least any one of the source. So as you can see here, in case of 8 questions in 2025, Fahian was a very simple question. The famous female figure of dancing girl at Mohenjo-daro was one of the easiest question of the 2025 prelims. Nayaputta Shakyamuni Tathagata was very difficult, was very easy I would say because it is directly mentioned in the NCERTs. Jainism was very easy. Stupa was very easy in case of 2023. 2022 as well, Dhauli, Yaragudi, Chauda, Kalsi was pretty easy. And in case of Sangam literature, even though the question is not from the micro theme, you can easily, logically eliminate the same. So, let me ask you this. Out of the 8 questions, 2 are very difficult. Out of the 8 questions, 2 to 3 are very easy, even if you have read a single book. So, out of 8 questions, 2 very difficult, 2 very easy, or 2 to 3 very easy. Therefore, only 3 questions remain, right? So, for getting only these 3 questions remain, 3 questions, which is almost of medium or average difficulty, should you read multiple sources? Such as you have Tamil Nadu SCRT, you have Satish Chandra, you have R. Sharma, you have Lucent book, you have Poonam Dalal Dahiya. Should you read all the other sources just to get these 3 average questions? No, right? Because it's not possible for you to read the same to only get these 3 other questions. So that is why, let me tell you that when you actually analyze the PYQs, you will understand that most of the questions have come from NCERTs, and I'll show you the same. So here, with reference to ancient South India, Korke, Pomhur, Michuri, well known as. It's directly taken from NCERTs. You can see here, Pohar, mentioned in the NCERT map. Danyagataka, you can see here in the NCERT map. River Canal Aqueduct, the same paragraph is mentioned in NCERTs here. You can read the same. In case of the concept of Stupa is Buddhist in origin, and also with reference to this question, the Gautama Buddha was generally known by which of the following epithets? Nayaputta, Shakyamuni, Tathagata. Both these questions have come from a single page. As you can see here, what are we to do with the Lord, with the remains of Tathagata, another name of Buddha? And here you can see here, the tradition of erecting stupas may have been pre-Buddhist. They came to be associated with Buddhism. Ashoka distributed portions of Buddha's relics to every important town and ordered the construction of stupas. So you can see here, both the questions have been answered in a single page. Here, Baja can be seen in NCERTs. Prime Minister, you can see here, the exact statement has been copied from NCERT. Here, the world's second tallest statue is the pose of Ramanuja, inaugurated by Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad. Which of the following statements correctly represents the teaching of Ramanuja? As you can see here, the correct answer is option A. The best means of salvation was devotion. In the NCERT, you can exactly see the same. According to him, the best means of attaining salvation was through intense devotion of Vishnu. Referring to Ramanuja here. Now, that is why, let me tell you that, in case of ancient, medieval and art and culture, okay, focus on these NCERTs only. And what is the NCERT? You should read the 6th standard, 7th standard, and also focus on the 12th and the other 12th themes wala textbook. Okay, because number of questions coming up very less. Among the questions which are coming, 2 would be very difficult. Even if you read all the sources, you won't get the same. 2 would be very easy that everyone gets. For the average or the medium wala difficulty, 2 to 3 questions, you don't need to read multiple sources. Just focus on the NCERTs because most of the questions are coming from the NCERTs. Okay? So in case of sources, go for NCERTs and don't go for any other book. Now, how to study ancient history? As you can see here, I have already told you, very few questions have come from the same. So therefore, just to get 1 to 2 questions in case of ancient history, you don't need to refer to multiple sources. As I said before, focus only on the 6th standard and 12th standard themes wala textbook and do not ever focus on, okay, R. Sharma Wali textbook. You don't need to buy the same, you don't need to read the same, you can completely avoid the same. Because old wala NCERT, UPSC doesn't usually take it as a source, rather UPSC takes the 12th standard new themes wala textbook as the source now. Also refer to AI sources, okay, which I'm going to tell you in this video as well. So what are the important topics? There are mainly 3 important topics in case of ancient history. The first one is respect to the ancient literature. The second one with respect to the sites. And the third one with respect to the Mauryan and also Guptan administration. Now, when you actually look into the ancient literature, you can see here that around 9 questions have come in the last 10 years with respect to ancient literature. Okay. Now, how has the question come? The question here, the practice of Vatakirital, is actually very difficult. Let me tell you, in case of Sangam literature, this question was very hard. Even in the case of Kautilya Sarthashastra, this is very difficult. Even if you have read multiple sources, you won't get the answer with respect to these two questions. This is very simple. Panini, Pushyamitra Shunga. So UPSC wants us to know about who were the famous court poets and which ruler did they save and what are the famous books. Here also, you can see here that here UPSC have asked about the famous book written by Kalidasa. Some quotes from Upanishads, Bhavudi Hastimala Shameshwara. Here, this is a very simple question wherein you don't need to have knowledge regarding the Sangam literature. Rather, you just need to have a very basic logical elimination techniques. In this question as well, you can get it through your logical and elimination techniques. And this question, let me tell you, is very hard. Devi Chandra Gupta Milinda Panha is something that you know, but option 2 and option 4 is actually very hard to get. Okay. So even in this question, there are no parables in Upanishad. It is a very extreme word. Therefore, you can eliminate the same. And Upanishads were composed earlier than the Puranas. You just need to have a chronological idea regarding the same, right? Because Puranas were mostly composed in case of the Gupta Empire, wherein Upanishads came in pretty much earlier. Okay? So this question was very easy, can be solved logically. So when you actually understand the nature of questions, some of the questions can be easily solved logically, wherein some of the questions such as Hambira Mahakavya require significant in-depth knowledge regarding the same. Okay? So regarding Sangam literature, it's not possible for us to study all the Sangam literatures because only 2 questions have come from the same. Okay? So how should you study? Now these are the areas that you can focus on. Firstly, with respect to court poets and their works, such as the works of Kalidasa, such as the works of any other poet, Banabhatta, beat everyone. Important works and the authors, let's say who wrote Panini, who wrote Kama Sutra. These are some of the important works, right? So you need to know about the authors of the same. And also focus on the important books in Buddhism and Jainism as well. Now, one of the most important topic with respect to UPSC is Buddhism and Jainism. So focus on the same. Now, how do you make notes for the same? Okay, always make notes for these subjects because these are the important portions, right? You can't just go to NCERTs and refer and read the book once again. Always so make notes. Now, how do you make notes? In case of all the authors, first of all, the book, the author, the court poet, under which ruler did he save, the time period, and a general description about the same. Okay? So UPSC have a question regarding the court poet, UPSC asked a question regarding the book, UPSC have asked question regarding the description. So this is the only information that you need to have. Okay? You can go and dive a bit deeper with respect to description. But in case of book or the court poet time period, these are the basic information that you need to have in order to crack all the questions. Also, with respect to Buddhism and Jainism, you can see here which are the sect, what is the basic philosophy of the same, and also the person and the founder. Okay? So try to make a one-page note with respect to all the court poets and also with respect to the Buddhism and Jainism books as well. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is the most important one with respect to sites. As you can see here, Dauli Ergudi Jaugada Kalsi, Kadura Kantashala Jau, Bursahom Chandrakituga, Rani Ashoka, descriptive type questions with respect to Ashokan sites and IBC sites, Chalcolithic Neolithic sites, another descriptive question regarding Ashokan site, the famous place and the present state. So these are some of the sites question, or I should say all the questions. So with respect to Ashokan side, 4 questions have come from the same. Okay? Firstly, they have asked about, in case of Dauli Aragudi Jauda question, they have asked you to identify the state. Secondly, the most important question comes as a form of description. So what are the information that you need to have? First of all, the Ashokan edict, the state, what type is it? Is it rock edict? Is it pillar edict? Is it minor, major, different types? And also, this is the most important, wherein you need to prepare, wherein you need to have a description with respect to the same as well. Okay? So, Ashokan edict, state, type, and also a description with respect to the same. You need to make a one-page note with respect to the Ashokan edicts as well. Nextly, you can see here, Indus Valley civilization as well, 5 questions have come from the same. 2025, there was a question with respect to dancing girl. Elaborate system, water harvesting system, which is in Dolavira, which one of is not a Harappan site. Okay, so what do you need to have? First of all, the site, the state and which river, and also the general description. In case of Harappa, bronze bullock carts, 6 granaries, bronze sculpture of a dog chasing god, red sandstone. With respect to Mohenjo-daro, you can see here bronze buffalo, bronze bull, bronze statue of a dancing girl. Now, this is the description that you need to have. You don't need to study who was the founder, who founded different sites and all. Rather, focus on the site, state and river, and also focus on the important description of each and every site. So what are the areas to focus? Also prepare a one-page note for the same, okay? Be it the historic sites, Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Megalithic, Ashokan edicts, Ashokan cities and ports, Mahajanpadas. Now Mahajanpadas question is something which came in 2025. Okay? So prepare a one-page note for Mahajanpadas as well. Now with respect to historic sites, what are the things you need to have? First of all, the site, let's say Bursahum, which state it is, Jammu and Kashmir. Now description, it's a Neolithic site. It's pit dwellings, stone stools, evidence of domesticated animals, dog burial. Next site, Mehrgarh, again a Neolithic site. State, Baluchistan, now in Pakistan, one of the earliest farming settlements. Now this is how you need to prepare a note. First of all, whether it's a Neolithic site, Chalcolithic site, state, historic site, and a general description with respect to. So make a one-page note with respect to all the important sites which is given in the NCERTs, okay? Because a descriptive question can come from the same with respect to the historic sites as well, as you can see here. In this question, rock shrines, terracotta art, and copper artifacts, even in 2024 as well, they have asked about general description about the same. You can see here, Chandragatuga, the site description, Inamgon, site general description, Mangatu, site general description, Salihundam, Andhra Pradesh, and general description. Okay? So site, state, and also general description about the same. Now, these are all the maps which is given in the NCERTs. Okay? You need to have, or you need to make a one-page note with respect to all these sites. IVC, Mahajanpadas, the capital and the present location, IVC sites, Mauryan sites as you can see here, Maski, Kalsi, Daugada, Jauli, old cities and the present names, Manyakat, Malkhed, Govardhan, Nasik, Pradistana, Paitan. Study all the previous names and also the new names of all the cities. Now, what are some other important areas? As I told, we have discussed about literature, we have discussed about the sites. Now, the third most important area is with respect to the Mauryan economy and administration and also the Guptan economy and administration. Because when you look at the PYQs, you can see here that in terms of administration of Gupta, you can see here, Kulya Baba, Drona Baba, Hundi, Vishti. These are all questions with reference to Gupta or post-Gupta administration. So focus on it and mostly focus on the society and also focus on the economy and administration of Gupta and Mauryan empires. Okay? Also, in case of the Mauryan as well, you can see here 2025 question with respect to Pradeshika, Richiga, Yukta. Even though the answer key is doubtful, but focus on the Mauryan administration as well. Okay? So, in case of ancient history, let me summarize it for you. What are the important areas that you need to focus? First of all the sites which is given in the NCERTs, UPSC can either ask about the state or UPSC can ask about the general description of the same. Okay? So let's say Bursahum, Neolithic site, Jammu and Kashmir, and also pit dwellings. Now this pit dwellings is not needed for all the other sites. Okay? Some of the sites does not have any general description, but just know that whether they are Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Megalithic, or any other different sites. Okay? In case of literature, prepare a one-page note with respect to the court poets, under which king they were, what was the time period, and also a general description about the book. Major books, maybe Kama Sutra, maybe Ashtadhyayi, and also with respect to Buddhism and Jainism. Here, a general description is not required. Rather, just understand whether they are related to Buddhism or Jainism. Okay? You don't need to have a general description with respect to same. Economy and administration of Mauryan and Gupta Empire, focus more on the society terms and also economy as well. Also, terms mentioned in NCERTs, okay? Because, one of the favorite areas of UPSC is to ask about the terms, right? Hundi, Vishti. In 2025, they have asked about Aragata. So when you always see a question in NCERTs or be in Tamil Nadu NCERTs, write it down somewhere. Okay? You make a note of all the terms. Let's say Gavishti. What is it? Let's say Gavyatu. What is it? Let's say Goda. What is it? Let's say Goduli. What is it? These are all Vedic terms and you need to understand what it is. Okay. Also, the boxes and pictures, because I have already told you, in case of Tadagada question, it came in the boxes. In case of Bhaja, it came in boxes. In case of Vasishti, it came in boxes. In case of Yoga Vasishta, it came in boxes. In case of Aragata, it came as a picture. So mostly UPSC takes these boxes and pictures as a source. So therefore, when you read the NCERTs, focus more on these boxes and also images which are given. Now, what are the less important areas? Okay. All the other dynasties, let's say Satavahana. Okay. Should you focus more on the Satavahana Empire's economy and administration? Economy and administration, should you focus? No. Should you focus more on the Pandyan economy and administration? Should you focus on Pallava economy and administration? Should you focus on Indo-Greeks economy and administration? No. Let me tell you, these are not the significant areas, okay? You need to have a very basic understanding. Let's say in case of Indo-Greeks, they introduced gold coins. They introduced the Shatrabha system. Now, these are the general introductions, general description that you need to know. Rather, you don't need to go very deep into the same. Okay? Now, in case of chronology of ancient history, chronology is more important in case of medieval history, okay? But you need to have a very basic understanding. Let's say, for example, first of all, Indo-Greek scheme, which was followed by the Shakas, followed by the Parthians, followed by the Kushanas. So you just need to have a basic understanding with respect to the ancient history as well. Now, there are no areas to skip, okay? UPSC can be very unpredictable with respect to ancient history. So therefore, there are no areas to skip. Rather, you focus on all these important areas. Okay? So let me summarize it for you. In case of ancient history, what are the sources? Focus more on 6th standard NCERT and 12th standard New Val NCERT. You do not need to read the R.S. Sharma textbook because only 2 questions come from ancient history. Out of that, one would be very difficult and one would be almost easy. So therefore, for that single question, you don't need to read multiple sources to get the facts. Rather, focus only on the 6th standard and 12th standard NCERTs. Now, what are the important areas to focus? Sites, literature, economy administration of Gupta, terms mentioned in NCERTs and TN NCERTs. Also, focus more on the boxes and pictures. Okay? And what are the less important areas? All the other dynasties excluding Mauryan and Gupta and their administration, you don't need to focus. And also, focus less on the chronology of ancient history as well. So, TK, that is the overall view of how to study ancient history. I have said about the sources, the difficulty of the questions, and also with respect to what are the areas you need to focus, less important areas, and also what are the areas that you need to skip. Okay? So, I hope all of you enjoyed the session. See you in the next session wherein I'll deal with on how to study medieval history. Thank you.